When you think of Super Bowls, the guy who holds most of those records is here with us, Joe Montana. First of all, representing Haas.avocados. Is that right, Joe?
Yeah, this is the second year we've been out talking about avocados and how the importance they play on Super Bowl Sunday. And
parties, baby, right?
Well, yeah, they consume almost 70 million pounds of these things on one day, and it's crazy. But they're out there, we're out here talking about it, and it's a good healthy snack along the way, and guacamole is the number one thing. We got a great recipe on the website and avocadocentral.com. So a lot of good things on there.
Joe, I've heard when people talk about the Super Bowl, they can say that this game can change your life. How did it change your life?
Well, you get a different kind of respect after winning the game, and sometimes rightly so, and sometimes not so rightly so. But it is one of those things that people judge a lot of sometimes your career on whether you win this game or not. Not only at the quarterback position, but at a lot of the positions. So,
Cowboy fans remember many things, but they certainly remember the catch. Kind of relive that from your point of view. We've heard ex-Cowboys who were on the field that day talk about it. Can you kind of just, for Cowboy fans, kind of relive that moment for them?
Well,
even though it might be painful for them?
I know it might be painful. But there's a couple of things they should know. First, the catch might not have ever happened if I was no pressure. I overthrew Freddie Solomon the play before that, who would have walked into the end zone. He was so open, and I threw it 3 feet over his head, and I thought it would, we wouldn't get another chance. And, we had never really thrown the ball to Dwight on that play because he's supposed to set a pick for Freddie, but Freddie falls down. So he's the second receiver, and he just didn't think it was going to come to him. Then he saw the play was still going, so he ended up finishing his route like he's supposed to, which he never used to have to. And then it just took his slow butt a long time. But he did make a nice catch. But the thing I think Cowboy fans forget is that they got the ball back. And it wasn't for Eric Wright's tackle of
Tony. Was Drew or Tony? I can't
remember. It was remember it was right by the back collar.
Absolutely.
That saved the game. That was I think that was as big a play as the catch.
Were you really trying to, when you hit Dwight, were you trying to throw the ball away? I mean,
no.
They were bearing down.
The funny thing about Bill, he has these notions and these premonitions that you sit there and you laugh at. Yep. Bill Walsh, I'm sorry. Earlier in the year at training camp, he made Dwight and I practice that throw. And we both thought he was nuts because we never throw the ball to him. And sure enough, we didn't know how important it would be. And here it is in the biggest game of our life. We end up using that play. And we both were laughing about it, thinking, wow, he made us do this in training camp. And we had no idea. So I didn't try to throw it that high. And when I let it go, like if you sit here and you throw a piece of paper to the trash, you kind of know whether it's going to go high or low. When I let it go, I thought it was a little bit. I didn't think he'd have to jump that high. Thought it was above his head, but I also was trying to throw over too tall, which
is not easy.
Easy.
All right, Tony Romo, from a Cowboy fan's point of view, he likes to move around like you did back there. What do you think of Tony Romo now?
Well, I like Tony. I think his thing is a little bit needs to be a little more consistent, and otherwise, I think he does pretty well. I mean, he gets things around. He just seems to struggle at the worst times, in some of the bigger games along the way, or lose sight of some of the easier games. And to be successful in the league, consistency is what it takes. If you look at the guys who have had success all the way down, they stay pretty consistent throughout their career.
There's one other story, and that I'd like for you to tell before you go. John Candy, Super Bowl against. Did you really say that in the huddle before that drive against the Bengals?
There's a guy who played tackle for us, Harris Barton, and he was always into who was at the games, right? So all week long, if he was out and he saw a celebrity, he would tell you who he saw.
Okay.
And it was kind of like his thing. So I really wasn't saying it to the team. I was really talking more to Harris. And we had been on TV timeouts in Super Bowl forever.
Oh, yeah.
And I'd been to the sideline once or twice, and we were just standing around waiting for them to give us a signal to go. And I happened to see between two of the guys' shoulders was Candy. And I hadn't heard Harris mention him, so he looked at me like I was crazy, but I think he appreciates it more today than he did back then.
But don't get too caught up in the object of that is, even at the toughest moments, you got to have fun,
that's right? Yeah, that's why I say I always try to be myself, no matter it was the game that you're losing, you're winning. The first game of the year, last game of the year, it didn't matter. I think if you don't do that, people tell when you're nervous.
Joe, thanks. We appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.